Exposed. How my daughter-in-law's mockery led to a heartwarming 1.2 billion transformation. It was a sunny afternoon, the kind that brought laughter and the smell of grilled burgers wafting through the Denver suburbs. Jake Thompson, a 42-year-old mechanic, had spent the morning setting up for the family barbecue. A smile plastered on his face as he recalled the warmth of his loved ones gathered under one roof. But as he flipped burgers on the grill, the laughter took a turn. Kayla, his daughter-in-law, always dressed to the nines, opened her mouth, shooting barbs wrapped in mockery. "Jake, your garage is like a museum of mediocrity. Do you actually think this old truck can take you anywhere? Dream bigger." Each word struck him like a hammer against metal, reverberating deep within. He felt his heart sink. That night, after everyone left, Jake sat in the dim light of his workshop, surrounded by the familiar smell of oil and old parts. He couldn't shake Kayla's words. They resonated, igniting a fire in his belly, a desire to prove her wrong, to show everyone the worth of his hard work and values. With determination racing through his veins, he began sketching a plan, ideas for an innovative auto repair service that could change the game. The hum of the radio mixed with the clang of tools formed a rhythm of hope. Each idea spilled out on paper, and the flickering bulb above him felt like a spotlight shining down on his moment of clarity. But as Jake shared snippets of his plans with friends and neighbors, the skepticism was palpable. They chuckled dismissively, reminding him how out of touch he was with the fast-paced world outside their bustling suburb. Each laugh chipped away at his resolve. The community didn't see the grit in their mechanic. They only saw his worn boots and vintage truck. Jake felt a tightness in his chest. Then, a storm struck one fateful evening, rattling the homes in his neighborhood, uprooting trees, and leaving them scrambling for help. In the midst of chaos, families turned to Jake. He seized the moment, rolling up his sleeves, proving he wasn't just a mechanic but a reliable lifeline. As he helped neighbors restore their lives, something shifted. The laughter turned to grateful discussions, eyes glimmering with respect. They saw the man behind the grease-stained hands, the heart that beat for their community. It wasn't long before Kayla confronted him. "Are you serious about this dream of yours?" she challenged, standing defiantly with arms crossed. The tension thickened the air. "You're just wasting time." But Jake stood firm, the glow of determination igniting his spirit. In that moment he poured his heart out, sharing how his dreams were not for himself but for everyone around him. It was about respect, dignity, a desire to uplift his loved ones. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let us continue. Amid the flurry of emotions, Jake felt a flicker of hope with every supportive glance from those he'd helped. The exchange with Kayla hung heavy, but in that depth of conversation, he could sense something stirring within her. Could he not just change himself but change her perception too? The stakes felt monumental, and as the neighborhood watched in a mix of skepticism and hope, Jake found himself standing at the precipice of his dreams. Would he rise to the occasion, or succumb to the expectations set upon him? The answers loomed just ahead, glimmering like a distant prize that only hard work could win. The first rays of dawn bathed the Thompson workshop in a golden hue, illuminating the dusty corners and forgotten tools. Jake stood at the entry, coffee in hand, his heart racing with ideas and possibilities. The previous night's confrontation with Kayla played on a loop in his mind. It wasn't just about proving her wrong. It was about proving to himself that he could carve a path where none seemed possible. Determined, Jake gathered supplies and set out to create a small prototype of his auto repair service idea. This was a new perspective on fixing cars, not just a place for repairs but a hub of innovation, where community could come together and learn the trade. He envisioned workshops with hands-on demonstrations, evenings with special classes, families learning together. As the day morphed from breakfast to midday, the rhythmic echo of hammering and clanking filled the air. Neighbors began to peek over fences, drawn by the sounds. One by one they approached him. "Hey Jake, what were you working on?" A familiar voice called out. It was Marcus, a once skeptical neighbor. I'm building something special, Jake replied, a spark of enthusiasm lighting his features. You mean that dream of yours? Marcus laughed lightly, but there was no malice in his tone, just genuine curiosity. Yeah, but this time it's not just for me, Jake admitted. I want to change how we view mechanics. We can do more together than just fix cars. Intrigued, Marcus stepped closer. Show me what you got. Jake invited him into the garage, and soon enough, a small crowd began to gather. Each person took a moment to explore the half-finished prototype, and Jake could feel a shift in their energy. They weren't rolling their eyes or chuckling anymore. They were interested. As the group conversed and shared their own experiences, doubt turned into excitement. Then there she was. Kayla arrived, her heels clicking against the concrete, dressed impeccably as always. Jake's heart lurched. He knew she had heard the laughter, but hadn't he expected to see her here? What are you up to, Jake? She asked, crossing her arms as if trying to shield herself from what he might say. I'm bringing the community together. He responded, determination lacing each word. I want them to see that they can learn, grow, and respect the craft. Her expression shifted, uncertainty dancing in her eyes. For a brief moment, Jake saw a glimpse of something else. Could it be pride? Here, let me show you, Jake invited, pulling her gently into the conversation. He explained how the service would work, how people could come in not just for repairs, but also for learning opportunities. As he gestured to the clutter of blueprints and ideas sprawled around, he could feel the energy in the room transform. Kayla listened intently, the tension in her shoulders easing ever so slightly. Yet, the old fears lingered in her expression, hidden beneath her polished surface. But what if this doesn't work? What if you're just setting yourself up for failure? She questioned, genuinely searching for the truth. Jake met her gaze, unflinching. Then I'll get up and try again. This is more than just about cars, Kayla. It's about the people in this community. For years I've spent all my time fixing others' problems. Maybe it's time to build something that empowers us all together, including you. He could see that she hadn't expected such raw openness. There was silence as ideas hung in the air, a shared tension between hope and skepticism. But behind their small gathering, one thing was certain: change was stirring in Jake's world. The voices of support and encouragement felt like a crescendo. He knew he could step into something much bigger than he'd ever imagined. But could Kayla come around too? As evening approached, the group began to dissipate, leaving Jake alone with the warmth of newfound possibilities. He glanced back at Kayla one final time and found her watching him closely, a flicker of awe crossing her face. Could he turn her doubts into belief? As he stood in the cool twilight, Jake realized one undeniable truth echoed. In the depths of his heart, this was just the beginning. And now he needed to take that dream and show the world what it could truly be. But would it be enough to inspire her? The question lingered in the crisp evening air, leaving a sense of uncertainty and anticipation for what lay ahead. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Thompson workshop. The air cooled, but a fire ignited within Jake. He was buoyed by the energy from the gathering, the newfound belief that maybe, just maybe, things could change. As he began to pack away his tools, he caught a glimpse of Kayla, lingering just outside the garage. A mix of unease and courage swirled in his chest. He had opened up to her, shared his vision, but she still seemed locked in some kind of internal battle. He couldn't let the day end without addressing it. Hey, Kayla, he called out as he stepped toward her, feeling more determined than ever. Can we talk? She hesitated, then nodded, crossing the threshold into the workshop, a space both foreign and familiar. What's on your mind, Jake? About what I said earlier. I meant it. He searched her eyes, willing her to see the sincerity. This isn't just about cars or having my own business. It's about bringing people together. About making this community stronger. I need to know if you're in. Her brows furrowed, and the air between them grew thick with unsaid words. I just don't want you to get hurt again, she finally admitted, her voice softer now. What if it all falls apart? A lump formed in Jake's throat. What if it doesn't? He pressed, stepping closer to eliminate the distance. What if we build something amazing together? We owe it to ourselves to at least try. Kayla looked away, the vulnerability in her eyes unmistakable. She was grappling with a fear that seemed to paralyze her. But underneath that fear, Jake felt a flicker of hope, a shared dream that could ignite into something beautiful. It was frightening to think how much they needed this togetherness. "Jake, you don't understand," she said, pain lacing her words. "I've seen dreams like yours burn out. I watched my dad pour everything into his shop. It was his passion, but when the economy crashed, so did everything he built. I can't stand by and watch you do the same." Jake listened, his heart aching for her past, yet he felt a rising tide of resolve. "But look how far I've come since that night. This isn't just another shot in the dark. This is bigger than me. How often do we get a chance to change the narrative?" Her brow creased in thought. "Please, Kayla." He took a breath, steadying himself. "Together, we can create something that goes beyond the mechanics. We can nourish hope, a place where people rise up and support one another. They need this just as much as I do." There was a pause, and in that silence, Jake wondered if he had finally cracked her walls, even just a little. When she finally met his gaze again, it felt like a battle was waging inside her. "You're asking me to take a leap of faith," she whispered, the weight of her doubt evident. "That is scary." "Yes, it is," Jake admitted, his heart racing. "But isn't that the point? We have to risk something to gain something. Together we can inspire others. Not just about the cars, but about life and growth." With a careful nod, the brief flicker of realization lit up her face. "And maybe, just maybe, I could help you." Jake could hardly contain the surge of excitement that bubbled up within him. This was it, the beginning of a partnership that could transform not just their lives, but others as well. But just as hope flared, the shadow of doubt loomed again. "But if I jump in, Jake, and it fails? What then?" Her question hung in the air, a fragile truth tugging at them both. "Then we learn. We regroup. We rise again," he said firmly. "I'd rather face failure than drive through life in fear. We deserve to pursue what makes us whole." Kayla took a deep breath, and for the first time, he saw a spark of belief in her eyes, a hope slowly breaking through her walls. Yet, as night enveloped them, Jake sensed a deeper crossroads ahead. If they were to take this leap together, the stakes were higher than either of them understood. As they stood on the precipice of change, one question loomed large in Jake's mind. Could they really build this dream side by side, overcoming their pasts? The anticipation was palpable, readying them for the transformation that awaited just beyond their fears. The night air was thick with unspoken feelings as Jake and Kayla lingered in the workshop, the dim light flickering around them like their uncertain hopes. Kayla took a step closer, her eyes steady on his. "What if we really did this?" she asked, uncertainty still weaving through her voice. "What if we started small, just to test the waters?" A smile broke across Jake's face, illuminating the corners of his worry. "That's it. Let us start small. We can host a community car meet, something casual but inviting. It would give people a taste of what we want to build." The enthusiasm surged through him, a pulse of energy igniting their shared vision. "Okay," she said softly, her lips curling into a cautious smile. "I can handle that." "Exactly. We can team up on this. You know the folks around here better than I do. We can tap into what they want and need." The more he spoke, the more Jake felt the weight of their fears lift, replaced by sparks of potential. "Right, the community," Kayla echoed, her voice gaining strength. "People need connection and encouragement. Maybe they'd appreciate a chance to showcase their cars, share stories, and trust each other. We could even have a little food stand. Maybe you know someone who can whip up some killer barbecue?" Jake laughed, imagining the smoky scent wafting through the air, drawing the community in. "I do. Mr. Brandt down the street cooks a mean brisket. He'd love to get involved." Just then a wave of excitement rushed through Kayla. "And we could set up a future projects table, where anyone can pitch ideas. We could really get a feel for what people want from this community." He nodded, his heart pounding at the vision. They could turn their dreams into realities one step at a time. This could be the first step of many. It's about creating a space where everyone feels welcome, where we don't have to just survive but thrive together. But as the adrenaline flowed, a flicker of doubt flickered back into her eyes. What if no one shows up? What if we pour so much into this and nothing comes of it? "Let us focus on what we can control," he replied swiftly, his determination unfurling. "We'll promote it, use social media. It's not just about crowds. It's about making the connections that matter." Kayla took a deep breath, a hint of resolve swirling in the depths of her gaze. Okay, I'll help with reaching out to people. We'll put our hearts into it and see what happens. They stood there, the workshop suddenly feeling like a canvas, painted with vivid strokes of hope and ambition. The uncertainty was still there, but so was the thrill of possibility. They had chosen to face their fears together, to dream together. As they began to discuss logistics, the images of the community meet fluttered alive in Jake's mind. Laughter, engine roars, families coming together, and friendships renewed. It felt real, like they could almost touch it. Just as the excitement surged to a fever pitch, Kayla's phone buzzed, breaking the moment. She glanced at it, her expression suddenly clouding. Jake's heart sank. Everything okay? It's my mom, she said. The wind knocked out of her enthusiasm. She's not. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She never supports my ambitions. Pain rippled through Jake as he saw her confidence waver. You need to focus on what matters. You and I believe in this, right? Could change everything. I know, she replied, hesitating. But it's hard to ignore her voice. It feels like I'm letting her down if I pursue something she doesn't understand. Jake stepped closer, pouring his conviction into his words. You're not letting anyone down. This is your life, your dreams. You deserve to chase what makes you feel alive. Kayla looked down, wrestling with her inner turmoil. He could see her fighting the shadows that threatened to dim her light. He reached out, placing a hand on her shoulder. I'll stand by you no matter what. We're a team now, okay? She lifted her gaze, and for a moment the weight seemed slightly lighter. An ember of hope sparked anew, but the doubt loomed just beneath the surface. As their plans began to solidify, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that the real test was still ahead. Would they be able to push through the doubts that haunted them? The night felt charged with the question hanging between them. Could they truly transform not just their dreams but the lives of those around them? The answer seemed just out of reach, waiting in the hearts of the community that had yet to join them. The days passed quickly, filled with urgent preparations for the car meet. Every spare moment was spent brainstorming and organizing. Jake and Kayla met at the workshop nearly every evening, the air thick with both excitement and unease. They flipped through flyers, mapped out social media posts, and even put together a playlist that echoed what they envisioned for the event. But as the date approached, the weight of Kayla's mother's disapproval loomed large. I don't think you're being realistic, Kayla. Her mother had said that morning on the phone. You need to focus on your job, not chasing dreams that aren't meant to be. Each time Kayla recounted the conversation to Jake, her voice trembled. It genuinely hurt her, and he felt it too. He wanted to be her rock, to help her shake off that doubt. But no matter how many times he reminded her that this was their shot, that they had the power to create something amazing, he sometimes wondered if Kayla would find the courage to stand firm in the face of opposition. As the big day finally rolled around, the atmosphere was electric. Jake arrived at the parking lot early, giddy with anticipation. He could feel the pulse of excitement thrumming beneath his skin as he set up the tables and banners. With each passing minute, though, he felt a curling knot of anxiety tighten in his chest. Would people show up? Would this flop like so many ideas had before? Then came Kayla, her presence breaking through his worries. She stumbled out of her car, arms laden with supplies and a huge smile stretching across her face. You won't believe this, she exclaimed, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Mr. Brandt just texted. He's bringing his grill and enough brisket to feed an army. His heart soared. Just like that, they were doing it. He grabbed her hands, the warmth of her touch grounding him. This is going to be amazing. Together we're going to create something special, I can feel it. For the next few hours they moved through the motions. Cars began to arrive, bringing with them a menagerie of excitement and stories. People started to mingle, laughter bubbling and engines revving in a rhythmic orchestra that felt like a celebration of revival. But as more folks filtered in, the crowd seemed to pulse with life, and so too did Kayla's anxiety. As they chatted with attendees and collected feedback for their future projects table, Jake caught her glancing at the entrance repeatedly. She was searching for someone. Hey, everything all right? He asked gently, watching the flicker of fear cross her face. What if my mom comes? She whispered, her brow furrowing. What if she sees me failing? First off, you're not failing, Jake assured her. You're right here, right now, making connections. And whatever happens next, we're in this together. But deep down, he felt the undercurrent of her worry. Would she really be able to brush off her mother's doubts? Or would they creep back in when she least expected them? Just when the event was about to hit its stride, the unmistakable sound of a car engine cut through the chatter. Jake turned, heart racing as he recognized the vehicle pulling into the lot. It was Kayla's mom. Kayla's face paled. "I can't do this," she breathed, her eyes widening. But it was too late to run now. They were already exposed, standing in the midst of something beautiful that was blooming around them. Would her mother's arrival plant seeds of doubt, or ignite the fire of resilience within Kayla? The question hung thick in the air, a breath away from revelation. Kayla's breath caught in her throat, a mix of dread and defiance swirling within her. She could feel Jake's reassuring hand gently squeeze her shoulder, grounding her in the moment. The familiar figure stepping out of the car made her feel small. Her mom was immaculate, dressed impeccably, brows furrowed as if she had just walked into a calamity. The last thing Kayla wanted was for her mother to witness this. But here she was, and there was no turning back. "Stay here," Jake whispered, his gaze steady and firm. "Let me talk to her first." "You don't have to," Kayla started, but her voice trailed off. The sight of her mother's narrowed eyes sent a shiver up her spine. Jake stepped forward, waving politely as he approached Kayla's mom, who was already scanning the event with skepticism. It felt like a standoff, two worlds colliding. Kayla bit her lip and watched as Jake introduced himself, his demeanor calm but resolute. There was an awkward moment as her mom assessed Jake, a stranger making overtures in a place that was supposed to be disillusioned. Kayla's heart raced. She couldn't hear their conversation, but the body language alone spoke volumes. Her mom's frown deepened while Jake gestured towards the gathering, likely trying to paint a picture of enthusiasm as the two exchanged words. Kayla felt the pulse of the event around her. Laughter erupted from a nearby group. Couples posed for photos with colorful cars, and the sweet smokiness of brisket wafted through the air. Every sound felt amplified, every cheer a buoy beneath the weight of her anxiety. Then Jake turned back towards her, giving a small nod. It was hard to read his expression. Did it mean all would be okay? Or was her mother still sizing up the whole scenario? Taking a deep breath, Kayla approached, drawing strength from the energy swirling around her. "Mom," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "This is Jake. He is my partner for the meet." She gestured toward Jake, who smiled genuinely. Her mother crossed her arms, eyes narrowing. "So this is what you've wasted your time on?" she asked, her tone cutting through the ambience like a knife. "Not wasted," Jake jumped in quickly, maintaining his composure. "We've put our hearts into this. It's about community connection. You should see how many people have come out just to share in this passion." Kayla felt her cheeks heat. She longed for her mom to understand, to see it through her eyes, the creativity, the joy, the escape from the grind of life. "Really? You think a bunch of kids playing with cars is going to change anything?" Her mother shot back, her voice icy. The crowd had thinned suddenly, their laughter fading into an uneasy silence. But something inside Kayla snapped. She stepped closer to her mother, her heart suddenly fierce. "It's about more than cars, Mom. It's about dreams, not just for me but for everyone here. A chance to break free from the daily grind, to connect with others who care." Every word resonated deeply, rising from a place within her that longed to be seen. Jake glanced between them, sensing the shift. The boldness Kayla displayed seemed to ripple through the crowd again, tightening the tension and thickening the air. Her mother opened her mouth, caught off guard by her daughter's passion, but no words came out. Just then, a car engine revved loudly, followed by laughter as the crowd burst into a cheer, almost echoing Kayla's surge of confidence. It was as if the world was reminding them of the joy in the moment. "Can't you see what this means to us?" she said, searching her mom's eyes. "I'm trying to create something good. I just want you to be proud." Kayla's mother paused, her expression shifting. A spark of understanding, or was it hesitation, flickered across her face. "Kayla, her mother began, but a sudden silence fell, overwhelming everyone. They stood there, lost in a moment that felt at once monumental and fragile. Would her mother finally embrace her daughter's dreams, or would fear extinguish the flame before it had fully ignited? As the crowd cheered once more, Kayla's heart raced. What would her mother say next? Would she step forward into acceptance, or retreat behind doubt once more? Everything hinged on that moment, and the air around them buzzed with untapped potential. The silence seemed to stretch endlessly, a tightrope balance between what was and what could be. Kayla felt her pulse in her ears, the frantic rhythm a counterpoint to the calm that enveloped her. The crowd's anticipation was palpable. Conversations hushed, eyes trained on the trio. It was a fragile piece, an invitation for her mother to choose acceptance or dismissal. Then a flicker. Her mother's brow unfurrowed just a touch, revealing the softer lines beneath the tension. It was an opening and Kayla seized it, her heart urging her forward. "Mom, please. Just give it a chance. You may even find something you love." Her mother looked away, her gaze drifting toward the cars glistening in the sunlight. Kayla could see the inner conflict play out against her features. "You know this isn't what I envisioned for you," her mom finally said, her voice quieter but still edged with concern. "And what is that?" Kayla pushed, surprised at her own boldness. "A path that you created for me? Or a journey that I carve out for myself? You taught me to chase my dreams, but now it feels like you want to limit what they can be." A small murmur from the crowd caught her attention, whispers of admiration and support flowing through. The affirming energy surrounded her like a warm blanket, emboldening Kayla. Her mother's jaw tightened, and for a moment, it felt like a lifetime of expectations hung in the air. Would she finally realize that her daughter was not a reflection, but an individual with her own light? Then softly her mother spoke again. "You have to understand, I worry. I know," Kayla cut in, feeling her voice quiver with raw emotion. "But this is my heart, Mom. There's so much more to life than what's safe. It's about passion and risking disappointment. It's about joy." Jake remained a steady presence, arms crossed and watching with a mixture of hope and patience. He was rooting for her, a quiet confidence emanating from him that steadied her resolve. Kayla glanced at him, her heart swelling. This was their moment. The skin around her mother's eyes softened as she took a deep breath. "I just hoped you would take the easier road, the path I could understand." Stepping closer, Kayla lowered her voice. "But Mom, this is me finding my way. I don't want to hide who I am or what I love. I just need you to see me." For a split second, the world miniaturized to just the two of them, the weight of Kayla's words hanging heavily. "I need to see you too," her mother finally said, her voice wavering. It was a concession, an olive branch. A spark of hope ignited in Kayla's chest, but before she could reply, a cheer erupted from the crowd, louder than before, as a flashy car meandered by, leaving behind a cloud of burnt rubber and exhilaration. "Come on. Let us check it out," Jake exclaimed, breaking through the moment's intensity. Kayla turned back to her mother, anxiety creeping into her thoughts. "Will you come with us? Just for a while?" Her mother hesitated, glancing at the jubilant throng, the colors and sounds swirling in a beautiful mosaic. She could see the families, the laughter, the carefree joy spreading through the crowd like ripples on a lake. "Okay," her mother finally said, a tentative smile breaking through her uncertainty. "I'll join you for a bit." Kayla nearly exploded with relief. "Great. You won't regret it." As they walked toward the heart of the gathering, Kayla's mind raced with possibility. Would her mother be touched by the community that had embraced her dreams? Would it change something in their relationship forever? Little did she know, a twist awaited them that would unveil deeper truths, a revelation that would shake the very foundation of their connection. What was about to unfold at the car meet would push Kayla, her mother, and Jake into uncharted territory, unraveling familial bonds in ways they never could have anticipated. As they stepped into the vibrant heart of the event, the air buzzed with excitement. The roar of engines and the chatter of enthusiastic voices created an electric atmosphere. Kayla felt the adrenaline surging through her veins, each pulse syncing with the beat of her heart. This was more than just a car meet. It was a celebration of dreams, a place where passion and dedication intertwined. Her mother was quiet beside her, eyes wide as she took in the riot of colors, the sleek curves of the cars, the laughter of children chasing each other, and the smiling faces of people of all ages. Kayla stole a glance at her, searching for clues of her mother's thoughts. There was a flicker of curiosity there, but also wariness. Kayla knew they still had miles to go. "Look at that one." Jake pointed excitedly at a shiny red sports car, virtually glowing in the sunlight. He stepped forward, his enthusiasm infectious. This is the stuff dreams are made of. Kayla's mother hesitated for a moment before following. Kayla's heart raced with hope. Could the magic of this place pierce her mother's reservations? As they wandered through the rows of cars, Kayla introduced her mother to the various owners, sharing stories of how each vehicle had a unique background, much like their experiences. She could see her mom warming up, even laughing at some of the spontaneous antics from other attendees. Then they stumbled upon a particularly vivid orange car that was decked out with modifications. This one wins the loudest paint award for sure. Kayla joked, and even her mom chuckled. But just as Kayla began to relax, a familiar face broke through the crowd. Mark, an old schoolmate of hers, approached with an easy grin. "Kayla," he called out, his eyes lighting up. "Wow, I heard you were into cars, but I didn't think you'd be here. This is awesome." "Thanks. Yeah, I love it," Kayla replied, her smile brightening as they exchanged small talk. But just as Mark's attention turned to her mother, Kayla felt a sudden shift. "And who is this?" he asked, an edge of surprise creeping into his tone. "This is my mom," Kayla said, the words catching in her throat for just a moment. "Oh, the one with the big expectations?" He chuckled, a teasing glint in his eye. "You must be a real party pooper." The words hit harder than any car revving in the background. Kayla's smile wavered. She could see the abrupt tension in her mother's posture, a subtle stiffening that spoke volumes. "Mark, that's not fair," Kayla said, quick to defend her. "She's just, but her mom spoke first. I've never told her she couldn't pursue what she loves," she reiterated, her voice steady but edged with an inconspicuous hurt. Kayla was taken aback. In an instant, the earlier ease drifted away. Mark seemed taken aback himself, suddenly uncomfortable. The crowd behind them carried on, oblivious to the small storm brewing. "Anyway, I should catch up with some friends," Mark said quickly, sensing the shift. "It's great to see you, Kayla. Mrs. Murray, nice to meet you." He backed away, smiling awkwardly as he retreated into the crowd. Silence enveloped the moment, heavy and thick. Kayla dared to glance at her mother, whose face now wore a mask of mixed emotions: hurt, anger, and something else. "Did you ever think I wouldn't understand?" her mother asked quietly, her gaze fixed on the dissipating crowd. "Is that how you see me?" Kayla's breath caught. "No, it's not like that. I just wanted you to see me." But the moment hung between them, heavy with unspoken words. Would this small incident now undo the progress they had made? The crowd cheered in the background, but all Kayla felt was the growing distance between her and her mother. Would this relationship survive the doubts planted by a careless remark, or was it about to take an even deeper plunge? As they moved on, Kayla tried to re-engage her mother's attention, but a new unease crept in. What hidden truths were now bubbling to the surface, waiting for the right moment to explode? Would she be able to pull her mother back from the edge, or were their ties more fragile than she ever imagined? Kayla felt the heavy cloud of silence press down on her. She wanted to shake off the awkwardness, to pull her mother back into the vibrant world around them. "Hey, let us go check out that food truck. I heard they have the best fries," she suggested, forcing a smile. Her mother's gaze lingered on the now empty space where Mark had been, but slowly she nodded. "Sure, fries sound good." The tension in her voice was unmistakable, like a thread barely holding together. As they moved toward the food truck, Kayla took her mother's arm, hoping to bridge the gap created by Mark's careless comment. She wanted them both to feel connected, to share this moment that sparkled with possibilities. "What do you think of these cars? I mean, the craftsmanship is incredible, right?" "Yeah," her mother said, her voice distant, scanning the crowd. "They're impressive." Kayla's heart sank. She wanted more than this polite conversation. She needed her mother to feel the joy she felt in this place, to truly see her passion. "Mom, remember when I was little? I used to bring home those little toy cars and you'd pretend to race them with me?" A flicker of warmth crossed her mother's face, as if the memories were slowly surfacing. "You were obsessed," she chuckled softly. "Exactly. I've always loved this stuff," Kayla pressed, heart racing. "And I thought maybe you could share this with me." Her mother stopped, finally meeting Kayla's gaze directly. "I want to understand, Kayla. But sometimes it feels like there's a wall between us." The weight of her mother's words struck Kayla hard. "I never meant to build a wall," she admitted, feeling a mix of guilt and determination. I thought if I got good enough you'd see me differently. Maybe like how I see myself when I'm working on cars. Her mother paused, the loud sounds of engines and laughter fading into a muffled backdrop. I see you. I'm just scared. I don't want to be the reason you give up on your dreams. I love you too much, she confessed, emotion tremoring in her voice. The honesty hung in the air, palpable and raw. Kayla's chest tightened as realization washed over her. Her mother had been holding back, not out of rejection but out of fear. But Mom, I'm not giving up. This is who I am. I need you to see me. Kayla took a deep breath, glancing at the food truck before looking back at her mother. Why don't we try a car together? We can go on a ride along. It would be so fun. Just like when I was a kid. Her mother's eyes lit up, the shadows of doubt beginning to lift. A ride along? You really think I could do that? Absolutely. It'll be our adventure. Kayla grinned, her excitement bubbling over again as they approached the food truck. Kayla felt hope surge through her once more. She wanted to find that joy together, to create new memories layered with laughter and love. But just as they approached the window, her mother's phone buzzed in her pocket, breaking their moment. She pulled it out, glancing at the screen. The change in her expression sent a ripple of concern through Kayla. Mom, I have to take this, her mother said, suddenly distracted. I'll be right back. Without waiting for an answer, she stepped away to take the call, leaving Kayla standing alone, uncertain once more. Kayla watched her mother speak animatedly, confusion creasing her brow. That moment of connection was slipping away. As she leaned against the food truck, heart racing, she felt that familiar chasm opening again. What could be waiting on the other side of that phone call? Would this moment of hope lead to another misunderstanding? As their rallying spirit hung in the balance, Kayla wondered, could a simple phone call rub another layer off her mother's heart? And more importantly, would they find the way back to each other when she returned? The sun began to set, casting a warm golden hue over the still bustling car meet. Laughter echoed through the air, punctuated by the sound of revving engines and sizzling grills. Kayla leaned against the food truck, her heart a tangled mess of anticipation and uncertainty as she watched her mother walk away, phone pressed to her ear. Would this moment slip through her fingers like sand? As minutes ticked by, Kayla's nervousness grew. She thought about all those times she wanted her mother to see her, really see her. This meet was proof of her passion, her determination to carve her own path. Would her mom understand? Would she truly embrace this journey they could take together? Finally, her mother returned, a hint of tension still lingering in her posture. Sorry about that, she said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. Work stuff. Everything okay? Kayla asked softly. Just checking in, her mother replied. But Kayla could see the shadows still clouding her gaze. Let us go check out that cool car over there, Kayla suggested, breaking the silence. She led her mother toward a bright blue muscle car, its polished surface gleaming under twinkling fairy lights. This one has a story too. Did you know the owner rebuilt it after a major accident? And just like that, they fell into conversation. As they examined the vehicle, Kayla's mom began to engage more, sharing little tidbits of admiration for the craftsmanship. This looks so powerful, Kayla's mother said, her eyes lighting up. It is. Can you imagine the freedom of driving it? Kayla's heart soared, sensing a shift. They wandered from car to car, exploring every detail, every triumph of engineering and design. Kayla felt her mother's walls begin to crumble. The laughter and joy surrounding them started to seep into her mom's heart as well. Hey, why don't we take a quick look under the hood? Suggests a friendly guy nearby. With a glance, he opened the trunk to reveal the intricate machinery. Kayla's mother stepped closer, intrigued. For the first time she asked questions. How does that work? What makes it go so fast? That's the spirit, Kayla exclaimed, her excitement bubbling over. See, you're getting it. But just as Kayla felt they were forging a meaningful connection, her mother's phone buzzed again. Kayla held her breath as her mother looked at the screen, hesitation flickering across her face. Mom, don't, Kayla said, stepping closer. Being here right now means more than anything. Her mother looked torn. I know, Kayla, I just let it go. Just enjoy this. I need you here with me, Kayla urged, her heart pounding with hope. Finally, her mother sighed deeply and put her phone away. You're right, she admitted slowly. I can't keep letting those fears define our moments together. Kayla beamed. The clouds were parting. Let us test the waters, shall we? Kayla grinned and invited her mom to sign up for a ride-along on a test drive with one of the car owners, who eagerly joined in. I don't know about this, her mother hesitated, biting her lip. Come on, it'll be fun. Let us jump in and experience it together, Kayla insisted. And just like that, they climbed into the passenger seat. Kayla's heart raced in tandem with the rev of the engine. The car rolled out, and with every turn, pierce of speed, and rush of excitement swirling in the air, Kayla turned to her mom, whose face transformed into one of pure exhilaration. Together they laughed, the sound mingling with the wind rushing past them as they flew down the stretch of road, the world around a blur of joy. When they returned, her mother's eyes sparkled, a whole new energy infusing her. That was amazing. I never imagined it would feel like that. See, car lovers are passionate for a reason. Kayla couldn't help but smile, the brightest smile she had felt in years, her heart swelling with pride as they stepped out of the car. Others joined them, sharing their own thrill. The atmosphere buzzed with energy, and for each person there, a lively camaraderie blossomed. It's all about connection, her mother whispered softly to Kayla as they stood amidst the crowd. I see it now. I see you. And just like that, the barrier that had long stood between them melted into the ground, replaced with a warm embrace. There was understanding, acceptance, and most importantly support blooming in the air as the sun dipped lower, casting vibrant colors across the sky. Jake approached them, eyes lit with excitement. You two were incredible out there. The way you connected with everyone. It's what this community is all about. As they stood there, a sense of triumph washed over Jake, Kayla, and her mother. This was just the beginning of something beautiful, something they would build together as partners side by side. Jake beamed proudly at them. I told you change is possible when we share our dreams. Together we're unstoppable. Kayla's heart danced in her chest. Let us keep building. This is just the first step. Imagine what more we can do as a team. Her mother looked at them both, her smile genuine now. And I'm right there with you. Let us pursue those dreams. Let us uplift each other and embrace this journey. As laughter and the sounds of celebration enveloped them, the weight they had carried began to dissolve. Together they would change the narrative, creating a space that flourished with hope and friendships. The true transformation had begun, not just for Jake, but for Kayla and her mother as well. They stepped forward, hearts aligned, ready to face every challenge and triumph that awaited them. Together. So, if you felt inspired by this journey, this transformation, now is the time to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and let us grow this amazing community. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this emotional ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Your involvement can ignite change. Let us keep dreaming together.